Leadership Talks with Elway Smalls is an inspiring and uplifting show that focuses on the principles of leadership that allows leaders to achieve new heights of growth and success. Wayne Smalls is the CEO of Elway Smalls & Associates, LLC, a leadership training and coaching company that uses bridge-building leadership principles that help leaders to create long-lasting legacies as they pave the way for the future leaders that follow them.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Leadership Talks with L. Wayne Smalls. It is my honor and privilege to be here with you today, and I appreciate each and every one of you that is with me right now, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, Yahoo, wherever you're listening to me right now. I appreciate you being with us today, and I want to make sure that everybody is having a great day. If you're not having a great day, it is not too late to turn it around. All you have to do is change your attitude. All right. So I want to share a quick story with you. Someone asked me, Wayne, why is the name of your show Leadership Talks and not Leadership Talk? And my answer was, because that's what I wanted. I'm just kidding. But the reason why I call it Leadership Talks is because after my first talk about leadership, everything after that, it just accrues and accumulates, and everything forward it just combines and adds up, and it's a talk. So we're doing talks. So my Leadership Talks is how I came up with the show name Leadership Talks with L. Wayne Smalls, because every time I get to talk to you about leadership, we are adding to what we already have. And so today I want to share something else with you. I want to talk about leadership in a different way, in a way that you may not have heard it before. Maybe you have, I don't know, but we're going to go through it together. So today I want to talk about leadership being like old school photography. Leadership like old school photography. The reason why it's old school photography, now everything is digital and so much faster and the process is different, but that old school photography, when you take a picture, you have to take that film through a process. You have to take one step at a time. If you do anything out of order, anything out of place, you will ruin your finished product. And that's how I look at leadership. So today we're going to talk about that. We're going to jump into it right now. I want to tell you this. Success is not a destination. It is a product of hard work in the pursuit to fulfill your purpose. Let that soak in. Let that marinate for a second. Life is not a destination. Success is not a destination. It is a product of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears in your pursuit of fulfilling your purpose. So many people look at success as money or material things, houses, cars, and all of those things are great. Nothing wrong with that. But when you begin to look at those things as measures of success, sometimes you can miss your real objective, your real purpose in life, which could be different from everyone else around you. So you have to really know what your purpose is. And I say that all the time. I talk about that all the time. It's nothing new, but this is what we have to do in our everyday lives. Every day should be a series of attempts to fulfill your purpose. And that's what we're talking about today. So, like I said, life is like that, or leadership is like that old school photography. So life is a series of snapshots. A photographer has to focus before he ever snaps that camera. You have to get in focus. You have to aim at what you're trying to shoot, and before you shoot it, you have to make sure everything is crystal clear. Make sure everything is in line, everything is lined up right, planned appropriately before you ever snap that shot. And that's what we're talking about as leaders. What is your focus? What are you focused on? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your ambitions? What are you striving for? When you know what your goals are, you have to put a plan in place that's going to get you there. And the only way you can do that is with focus. Without focus, how will you ever know that you've reached your goal? How would you ever know that you were successful if you don't know what you're aiming at? And I'll tell you something else. If you don't aim at anything, you won't hit anything. So you have to be in focus. And that's what we're talking about today as leaders, being in focus. If you're taking this journey with me in the life of a photographer, you understand that if you want to take a lot of pictures really quickly, you can do that. You can get you one of those instant cameras, disposable cameras, and you can snap away and take all kinds of pictures. But the quality of those pictures will not be good. They'll be all right, maybe, but they won't be the best quality. So you have to get the best camera for the job. You have to make sure you have a camera that's going to capture your moments the way you want them to be captured. And in your own life as a leader, you have to make sure when your goals have been identified, when you have laid out your plan of how you want to achieve those goals, you have to stay focused on those goals. We can't allow those distractions to take us off course and even prevent us from accomplishing our goals. When we do that, we start to miss it. So focus is very, very important. You have to make sure you are laser focused on your dreams, on your goals, your purpose, and also make sure that the people around you understand what your goals are. When people understand what your goals are, if they are actually on your side, if they are really supporting you, they're going to do all they can to help you achieve your goals and help you to be successful. So the next phase in that photography process is the snap phase. Once you focus those lenses, once you got your focus, you focus on your target, and you are ready to shoot, you snap that camera, you snap that image. Now you have it on film. Now you're ready to move on to the next step. So when that shutter opens, as you hit that button on the camera, the shutter opens, the light hits the image, and the image hits the film, and you've now moved on to the next process. You've moved on to an image now. You have that image on film. Now you are ready to operate in your purpose. You're operating your plan. You're executing that properly, and you're moving. You're making progress. And again, you always have to remember those distractions. Those distractions, if they get you off course and get you doing something out of order, at any given time, you can ruin your desired result. So you have to make sure that we're talking about snapping that photo when you know what you want to do. If you say I want to write a book, and you know that's your goal, that's your target, you have to identify what it takes to write that book. If you don't know the process from A to Z of writing a book, you can really create a disaster. And what happens when you create that disaster? You become discouraged. You make sure that that discouragement does not prevent you from going ahead and writing that book anyway. And I'll tell you something else. Most of the times, us authors, when we write a book, our first book is really not the best that we had envisioned, but we write it anyway. Even John Maxwell said that. John Maxwell said in a conference that I attended live, he said, if you expect to write a perfect book your first time around, forget it. It's not going to happen. Your first book is going to be less than what you thought it was going to be, and that's okay. You have to keep moving, learn from your mistakes, and write the next one. So in snapping that camera, you identified your goal, you went for it, you worked on it, you worked hard, you went through the process, you identified all the steps that you needed to take, and that's it. But you cannot measure your success by, was it perfect? Because most things are not. But you have to identify whether or not you identified your goal and did you go for it? Did you take the steps that it took to get from A to Z? Did you learn from that? What did you learn? Take those lessons learned and move on to the next phase. And not only that, but there are going to be people watching you. There are going to be people that are inspired by what you did, and they're going to want to follow you. So you can share your lessons learned with them as well, making sure that they may not make the same mistakes that you made. Help them to avoid those pitfalls. But we need exposure. We need exposure, and that's what's so important about this process of development, the exposure. How can you become an expert at something if you're not exposed to the knowledge, if you're not exposed to the process of how that industry may work? If you want to start a pizza business, if you don't know anything about pizza, how are you going to run a pizza business? If you don't know how to operate a t-shirt printing company, how are you gonna be that business owner without exposing yourself to that knowledge, going through the process, training, reading, learning? You have to take the time to do that. It's not enough to say, I want to do this. That is not enough. After you identify the desire to do that thing, then you have to figure out what it takes to accomplish that. So we need exposure to the subjects that we want to become experts in. And hope is not enough. You can pray all you want, and prayer is great and is necessary. But if you don't put anything behind that prayer, you're praying for nothing. You have to back everything up with action. And the only way you're going to be successful is if you put a plan in place that's going to line those actions up to make you successful. So the next phase, after you snap that photo, that snapshot, the next phase is the development process. The photographer knows that in order to get that perfect picture, he has to give that film the right amount of solution, the right amount of light. And in this case, we're talking about photography. There's a process where there's no light involved or minimum light involved, but we'll get to that in a minute. But so many people get impatient in the development process. They don't want to go through all of the steps. But like I told you, if you don't go through all the steps in order, you can create a disaster. You can actually ruin your own dream, your own process, your own development. You can ruin that if you do not take the proper steps. So being patient is very important. Being patient, persevering, and making sure that you don't skip anything. As leaders, it is so important for all of us that we remember how important it is that we ourselves need to continuously be developed. That learning process is so important because the more we learn, the more we have to share. Once we stop developing and growing, we lose our ability to pour into other people. You'll hear me say that all the time because that's how important it is. So developing that film, it requires some things. It requires some solution. That photographer pours that solution on top of the film. And I don't get too deep into the weeds with all of that, but I do know that in that process, the film has to sit a little while in the solution, and so there's some time that goes into that preparation. And if you want to do something that is great, if you want to reach excellence, if you're striving for perfection, it takes time. You cannot rush through this. You cannot rush through life. And we as leaders, we have to understand that. We cannot rush the process of development. Yes, we do get learning curves. Yes, sometimes we have some time restraints. But as best as we can, we need to manage those. And we need to make sure that the proper time is given to the process. If you shortchange the process, you will most definitely shortchange your results. I can guarantee you that. So as this film is being developed, it goes into a dark room. That dark room is a lonely place. It's quiet. It's not lively. There's not a lot going on there. And that's where that film needs to be developed. That is an important part of the process where the film turns into that pretty, beautiful picture at the end. But in your life, you're going to go through a dark room process as well. I myself am going through a dark room experience right now. I'm in school. I'm working on my doctorate degree. It is not easy. It's very difficult. People are falling off left and right. Some of the friends that I had that started off with me are no longer in the program. And as a matter of fact, the group that I was in, I'm the only one left in the group. That's a lonely place to be. and you feel all of that, but you have to continue the process. You have to continue on that path. I know I don't want to quit. I am determined to make it. So I have to stay focused. I have to make sure my goal is crystal clear to me, and it is. I'm laser focused on my end state. My goal is to graduate. So I'm not going to let anything stop me. As much as possible, with everything I have in me, I'm going to make it. So in that process, we notice that, you might be in school yourself, and you might notice that your friends are going out. They're going to the party or going out to the movies, going out to eat, what have you. And you're home doing homework. And you feel like you're missing out. That's a lonely place. That's a dark room experience. But guess what? You're developing. You're growing. I remember early in my military career, I was a young private. A very smart NCO pulled me under his wing and gave me some very good advice, and I followed that advice. He told me, every training opportunity you get, go. Every chance you get to go to school, go. Volunteer for that. And I did that, and I started doing that. All my friends were hanging out and doing their thing. But I noticed over time, I started passing. I started elevating. I started growing. And that's what life is about. When you want to be the best, when you want to exceed, when you want that success, you have to do the things that other people don't want to do. You have to be willing to go places where everybody else don't want to go. The road less traveled. That's where the leaders are. That's that dark room experience. And when you go through that dark room experience and you come out on the other side, you'll be grateful that you went through it. But like I said, that is a lonely place. It's not lively. But remember, you have to be focused. Keep your eye on your goal. Keep your eye on the thing that started you off on this journey in the first place. It is a process. Next, the negative phase. When the photographer looks at that film and he looks at that picture that he know he took, everything is backwards. If he took a picture of a bride in a white gown, when he looks at that negative film, he's going to see somebody standing there in a black gown. But he know he didn't take a picture of a black gown. Everything is reversed. Everything is backwards. So when you go through that negative phase as a leader, someone who's working hard, you're working as best as you can, as hard as you can. You seem like you're doing all of the things that are supposed to get you ahead. You're working harder than everybody else around you, but you don't see any results. That's the negative phase. Don't let that negative phase fool you. That is an illusion. You are winning. You are successful. Keep doing that hard work. It's going to pay off. That negative phase is just that. It's a negative phase. It's something that tempts your mind. It's something that tricks you and try to make you think that you can't do it. You can't make it. And a lot of people get discouraged and they quit and they give up on their dreams. They give up on their goals. But that negative phase will pass. But it's necessary. It's necessary for that development process. All you leaders out there that feel like no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, no matter how determined you are, you just don't see the progress. It's there. And it's going to manifest itself soon. So don't give up. Don't give up. So if you're in a business or you're working on something that you really dreamed about doing and now you're in it and you just don't see the results that you want, continue to follow the process. Continue to work hard. Continue to do those things. Continue to expose yourself to the light that's going to illuminate on your subject and make you that subject matter expert. Keep working at it. You will come through that dark room experience a whole lot better for everybody else that would not do that. Everybody else that didn't want to go through that process and try to find a shortcut around that. You will notice the difference in the future. So the next phase in this photography process is the drying phase. That photographer has poured the solution in the film, and the film has sat and soaked. And he pulled that film out of the solution, and now it's time to dry. Hangs that film on the line and lets it dry. Have you ever felt like you were hung to dry? Somebody just left you out there hanging by yourself, or people have left you hanging by yourself while you were pursuing your dream or your vision, and the people that were with you, that you thought were with you, you thought they were supporting you, but now they're no longer there, and you're just out there flapping on your own? Have you ever felt like that? I know I have. And if you are a real leader, you felt it too. But here's the good news. In that drying phase, that's where that perfection, that perfect picture takes place. And guess what else? Nobody else is around to see this process. Nobody else is around to witness what you've gone through. They have no idea what you've been through to achieve the success that you're about to manifest to the world. So again, I will repeat this. Stay focused. Keep going out there and exposing yourself to that light, that knowledge. Become that subject matter expert. Become that great leader. Become that person, that agent of change. That's you. You're the leader. And I know you have it in you. And I know you have enough determination and guts and gumption to do anything you set your mind to do. But don't worry about that dark room experience. It's coming. But you can handle it. You have everything in you already to get you through that process. And when you come out of that dark room experience, when you come out of that negative phase, you're going to be a beautiful, beautiful picture. The picture that you dreamed of when you first snapped that picture. So all of you beautiful photographers out there, all of you great, wonderful leaders, stay focused. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. You're almost there, and you don't even know it. Just stay the course. Absorb everything that you get through this process. And then what you do as a leader, you turn around and you share what you learn with somebody else. That's what leaders do. And think about this. When you become that perfect picture, that picture that you wanted, when you achieve your goals, when you've achieved your strategic objectives and all of these great, wonderful things, you will have a greater appreciation for what you just did, even if no one else does. You can be proud of yourself for becoming a better leader, for going through this process. So that's my spill on leadership, like old school photography. And I want all of you all to go out today, be that photographer, and take another beautiful picture, not only of yourself, but of those that follow you. That's what I have for y'all today. I want y'all to know that I really appreciate you. This show was sponsored today by L. Wayne Smalls and Associates, LLC, as well as Mind Power. And if you would like to donate to our show, you can do so. Our Cash App is listed on the screen. Donate to our Cash App. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, our information is also on the screen. Please hit us up. Even if you want to send a note, just say thank you, or you like the show, you didn't like the show. If you have a question, reach out to us. We would be glad to communicate with you and share with you. And I want to look at a couple of the comments that I have on Facebook very quickly. Someone said, that's why the key is to find someone that is already doing what you do so that you can avoid some of the pitfalls. That is correct. We all need to follow someone that we respect, someone who's doing something that we want to do. And just follow them, model them, especially if they're successful. If they've been successful, you definitely want to pattern what you're doing behind them. I'm not saying be a carbon copy, but some of the steps that they're doing will definitely benefit you if they're being successful. Another one, even if the first try is not perfect, still write it. You learn in the process. Absolutely. We can expect not to be perfect even though we strive for it. We all should be striving for excellence every single day. When we're dealing with our purpose, when we're walking in our purpose, when we're operating in the purpose that God placed in our hearts, we should be striving for excellence. When we don't hit that point, we try again. That's the name of the game. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Leadership Talks with L. Wayne Smalls. If you are in need of some leadership training, a workshop, or a seminar, please reach out to us. We would love to partner with you and help you to grow your company, your organization, your church, whatever it is, and help you to reach the next level, help you to get to your described and prescribed leadership objectives. We would love to partner with you. I would love to talk to you. 910-566-0238 is the number to call. You can reach us on our website at www.lwaynesmalls.com, or you can email us at waynespeaks@lwaynesmalls.com. So that's all of the information that we have for you today. Again, we thank you. We appreciate all of your comments and remarks. And if you're interested in being a sponsor, please let us know. We're getting ready to go global, and I want you to be a part of that. So again, reach out to us, hit us up on our email or website, or give us a call, and we look forward to seeing you really, really soon. Take care. God bless you. And remember, we are the leaders, paving the way for those that follow us. Take care. God bless you.